I hit record. If you've ever thought about making a YouTube video, but have never done it, you know how hard that was. Where this goes, I have no idea. But I think for now, I'm just going to walk and talk. Think a lot. I don't know what you'll see, what you won't see. But I've been dragging my feet on this for a long time. This is something I've been thinking about for years. In a way, I've been doing it for years. I just did it within the four walls of a career. Never was someone just to take the company line, Be very honest with the people I worked with. Because I had some great conversations, because of that, I know I'm not alone. I'm not crazy in my thinking. More like you're right there with me. Us. The list is long but distinguished. So, let's go on this journey together. Why am I doing it now? Well, I'm not really sure who I am. Yesterday was 3-month anniversary of my job getting eliminated. And I'm unemployed. I'm retired. I mean, I'm only 52, but maybe I'm retired. Always wanted to be retired by the time I was 55. Not to do nothing, but to be retired from the corporate life that I was living. Maybe my job just retired me. I'm okay with that. Why did I hit record today? Yesterday I had the weirdest thing happen to me. Not exactly sure why, but I clicked into LinkedIn. I'm reading how past contacts are getting new jobs and new leadership positions and how lucky the company is and how people that are already in the ecosystem are happy to be working with them again. Read about a big release that one of the companies I worked for did for a client of theirs. That was going to be transformative. Spend all this time transforming everybody else, yet found myself stuck in the muck. A lot to be said for that. I worked in tech for the last 17 years. Cutting edge? Maybe. I mean, I went through the SaaS revolution. That was cutting edge. Now it's AI. That was the path I was on. But I'm reading this, and I'm kind of numb. Truth is, I had a pit in my stomach. The longer I read, I don't want to be in that world. I knew I didn't want to be in that world. But now that I'm out, I've had 3 months. That underlying, I mean, it's anxiety in a way, but there's the underlying uneasiness of where I was, what I was doing. Always worried, is my job going to be there? I mean, this wasn't the first time I was downsized. It's happened too many times. You start wondering, what's the common denominator? Then you start questioning yourself. I think this last time it was me, in all fairness. That's why I don't want it to be you. I mean, maybe you need the push like I did. Maybe you need the job and the career to retire you. But make sure you're set up for that. Was I set up for it? Set up for the transition. Sustainability? I don't know yet. We'll get into those in future videos. I was in that career for 17 years. 17 long years. Had some great times, but never comfortable times. Part of that's my own personality. But a lot of it is wasn't a good fit for me. I was in a job that I had to do things that were very unnatural. Not wrong. For instance, I'm an only child. I was more introverted. Yet I find myself at happy hours and events and having to mingle and small talk. I'm not a small talk guy. So this YouTube thing's kind of funny too. Guess I'll get better at it, huh? 17 years. And I think I spent 16 of those years wondering how to get out. So how do I help you get out of your uneasiness? You gotta look inside you, figure out why you're uneasy. Is it you? Is it the job? Is it things you don't want to do? But I think that's what we're going to dive into. That's what we're going to talk about. Because I believe there's many of you that are there. Right now, you've been there, you've been living it. Maybe you were scared to make a jump. Maybe you couldn't leave the money that it gives you. There's all these reasons. And it all comes back to safety and security. I know that oh too well. Played it safe for a long, long time. At first, you graduate from college and you spent 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, however many years getting a degree. You're supposed to know what you want to do coming out of college in your early 20s. So I did the commitment. I need to follow through on it, right? But it leads to years of wandering in the desert that just don't need to be there. Then you get married and start having a family and all these commitments and all these responsibilities. Your career starts growing. And before you know it, how do you make a change? You've got a family to take care of. You've got commitments with a house, a car, whatever else you've taken on as a commitment. Now I find myself at a crossroads. We had already had a vacation planned, paid for. So I was giving myself until that date to not worry about it. We saved up savings. Unfortunately, I lived under these conditions for a long time of worrying about my job. And I think a lot of you have too. You don't know if it's AI related that might cause it, downsizing, shift in industry trends, whatever it may be. But you just live with this nagging feeling of there's never comfort. It might be imposter syndrome. Wears many hats. But for me, it was all of them. And now I'm at this crossroads and I'm laid off. I'm early 50s. Am I retired early? Am I in a career transition? I don't know. I don't know who I am when it comes to my career, my work identity. I'm somewhat okay with that, to be honest with you. Why? Because I was miserable in the career identity I had. You didn't plan this. You know, I talked, my kids are in college. One graduated. And you talk to many kids and they don't know what they want to be when they grow up. And I always tell them, guess what? I'm 50 and I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So I just started indexing and thinking back to all these conversations I had while I was at work. Brutal, honest conversations with people that I didn't know that well. I trusted them enough to open up to them. Usually it was when I was in my lowest spot, darkest places, in the position I was in at that point in time. And it was amazing how many people said, I feel the same way. And I carried those conversations with me. You know how many people think about going out mowing the grass would be better than this. Maybe I should just buy a mower and a truck and a trailer and go mow yards. Window washing sounds better than this. I'm sure the businesses in my community could use a window washer. I could do it for really cheap, just enough to get by. I'd be okay with that then. Whatever meeting I'm preparing for, whatever report that is due, whatever one-on-one that's coming up next, pipeline calls, you name it. Has to be better than doing this. So who am I? Well, right now I'm unemployed. I think I've got ways of earning income. I'll get into those later. I think there's many people out there with my story. I think I can help them. As I was saying, I had this conversation with many people about how they're feeling, about how anything would be better than doing what they're doing. No. Maybe it won't resonate. But I believe it will, because I've had the conversations. I'm watching one of my friends, he was an employee for me, go through it right now. And we talked about this probably 3-4 years ago, and we set out a plan for him of how he could have freedom from his career, because it was unfulfilling to him, making more money than he ever thought he'd make in his life. I don't say miserable, not fulfilled. Is that how we're supposed to live this life? I mean, I'd always say it tongue in cheek, but find a job you don't hate, but you can get by in. I'm not sure if that's the best suggestion, although it's what I lived for 17 years. So how do we make it more fulfilling? It's one foot in front of the other. It doesn't happen overnight. You can read, you can research, you can go back to school. The thing is, though, if you're too scared to make the leap to do anything different, nothing's ever going to change. I'll get into it in another talk, but about 5-6 years ago, I did set out on something that I've followed through with. It's what's sustaining me right now. It's what is going to provide, at least for the time being, to get through this transition. And I think there's a lot of you that need to change something too. It doesn't have to be drastic, but it needs to be something. If you have got to escape, then we need to start. Give it some thought. How many times over the last week, 2 weeks, month, have you given yourself a pep talk? And I want you to think about this question. And when I come back, if I come back now, I'll come back. When I come back, I'm going to talk about this question I want to leave you with. How much time do you spend thinking You could say daydreaming. Daydreaming can get its wrong connotations. Yeah, I daydream of laying on a beach. Laying on a beach isn't going to get me money. Although maybe I should start a travel channel and get paid to go lay on a beach. I don't know if you'd really want to watch that, but anyways. But how much time do you find yourself thinking about doing something different? Maybe it is mowing the grass. Maybe it's window washing. Maybe it's building an AI company. I don't know. I don't care what it is. But if you find yourself thinking about that, and on the flip side, giving yourself pep talks that you're going to be better at what you're doing today, why don't you try to start down a path that will lead you to what you keep thinking about, what you want to do, what you think you'll find fulfilling? What's it hurt? You start down that path and you see it's not what you want it to be, or it won't produce what you need it to produce. But give yourself a shot. I think of Office Space and the TPS reports. We all have our own TPS reports. Let's go trash a printer. I've got some big fields out here that are around me right now. Let's just get a printer and trash it. That's what we need to do with where we're stuck. Take it out into the field, turn on some music, get the baseball bats out. Doesn't mean to do anything drastic. You can't quit your job today if you don't have anything lined up. But let's make a step towards where you want to go, what you want to do. So I'll see you in the next episode. Give us some thought. I'd really like you to think about, what have you been thinking about? Where would you like to go? Would you like to start a YouTube channel? Hit record. That's what I'm doing. Until then, don't live in your head too much.